Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Esther and this is Unfiltered with E. Thank you to my returning subscribers. Shout out to you guys for the outpouring of love and support while I was gone. Thank you so much for the likes, the comments, the shares. Thank you to anyone that has reached out to me during this time, making sure I'm okay, you know, checking up on your girl. Thank you so much. It really means a lot. I see it all and I appreciate it all. And to my new subscribers, welcome to the family. On this channel, we focus mostly on faith. We focus on advice, womanhood, and just me navigating this thing called life and sharing bits of it with you guys. Thank you so much. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you have not yet. It really does help me out a lot, and we're almost to our goal of reaching 1,000 subscribers. Last I checked, I think we're at like 935. Like, shout out to y'all. You know, thank you so much to anyone that has clicked that button. It takes less than a minute to just click that button and, you know, subscribe. It really does help me out a lot on this journey as I navigate content creation. So thank you. Happy New Year. It is officially 2025. Who would have thought, right? Who would have thought? It's honestly by the grace of God that we've all made it this far, and just thank you, God, first of all, just for the grace, you know, and the privilege of still breathing, because not a lot of people made it. How, like, what do you want your first video to be for 2025? A get ready with me, a makeup tutorial? Like, I was just thinking about that and I was like, why not recap on 2024? You know, I have not seen this concept quite yet on YouTube, so I thought that maybe let's try it, and that's kind of what this video is gonna be. And if you know me, if you're part of my close circle, you know I love to capture moments. I am always on Snapchat just capturing something, whether I share it or not, it's going to be captured. So I was like, okay, how can we recap and have like visuals? And that's where Snapchat comes in. Go ahead and follow me or add me on Snapchat. I love Snap. I've had Snap since I was, I want to say 12 or 13. Comment down below how long you've had Snapchat for. And I remembered in high school the biggest thing was like streaks. We all had streaks. We all wanted streaks, and the longest or the highest streak was cool or something. And I think my highest streak was probably like a little over 1,000 with one of my close friends, and she and I were super proud of that streak. So yeah, so we'll be using Snapchat where I will go through my Snap and just relive 2024. How does that sound? Okay, so here is our Snap. You just go on here and, oh, hopefully my connection's not too slow. Anyway, I'm just gonna scroll all the way down to, let's start with December 31st of 2023. Let's do that. And oh, yep, I think that's like a great start. 2023 was an interesting year for me. It really was. I met some interesting people. I was mostly in school, really, because a lot of it was my second semester. I traveled back and forth from my hometown to the cities quite a bit. Okay, so here is 2023, December 31st. I went out with a few of my friends that play, well, old friends. We're not really affiliated anymore, and that is a story time for another day, y'all. Anyway, I ended up finding a cat actually, so that happened. And honestly, like the end of 2023 was just, we ended up going out, and I remember I was like, how did I end up here? Because how did I end up here, really? And January 1st of 2024, if you guys can see, hopefully it loads, come on, there you go. January 1st, 2024, this is me at the gym. Oh, jeez. I was super dedicated, you know, every January 1st, we're all back at the gym. Has it been the case this year? Yes and no. Like this year, I'm not like, oh, just because it's the first, I'm actually gonna be at the gym. No, like I really did follow through all of 2024 and working out. So it's not like a new step. It's just something that I've been doing. So I actually, this is me and my girl at the gym. The Stairmasters was everything. And then we ended up celebrating on the 3rd. We ended up celebrating my best friend at the time. We celebrated her birthday. It was a really, really nice night. Just being able to like see her smile and, you know, just show her how much we appreciate her. That same night, we'll call him, let's call him Australia. So Australia was in my city. Australia, long story short, he was my first, like, I would say real my first official crush in high school. This man, how do I describe this? Long story short, I thought I was in love with this man, y'all. So we've always been in each other's lives. That's literally that's the most I can say. We've always been in each other's lives. So he had reached out to me. He's like, hey, I'm in your city. I'd like to take you out to dinner if you're free tonight. I usually don't do last minute things, but you know that one person that you would drop everything for? Unfortunately, he was that person for me. Is it the case now anymore? Absolutely not. But back then, yes, absolutely. So, yep, I ended up leaving. We went out to dinner and just like talked. It was a good talk. And the next day I had to go and get my pictures taken for a procedure that I was getting. Just skip. Most of that was literally just like, if I'm not working out, I am working. And this was when I started to get obsessed with bangs. I don't know where that came from, but out of nowhere, I was just like, let's see what I would look like with bangs, you know? So I ended up cutting one of my wigs down, and I was just like, more and more, and I just kept cutting and cutting. And you guys will see like the final product of that, and I was like, I kind of like this. So I kept that for a few days. Me and my girl went out to dinner, so that was nice. This is all in January. And then at the time I was seeing someone, but not really. Anyway, so that's who I kept going back and forth from my hometown to the cities for. Because one thing about me is any excuse to leave my home, I'll take. And it was just nice because when I was with him, you know, that one person that like you don't have to think when you're around them. And it was a very good, let's call him Canada. I'll tell you all about Canada one of these days. I'm just not ready yet to share that part of my life. Anyway, so Canada and I were seeing each other at the time. So like anytime I would want to leave, he'd just be like, hey, come. So I would leave town and just like either drive to him or like I would fly to him. So yeah, this is me packing to go there. And when I got there, he basically was like, we could either stay at his place, and mind you, he had a penthouse, either that or we could go elsewhere, like if you want to go to like Chicago or something, we can. And I was like, sure. So we ended up going. So that's the hotel, and the views were just beautiful. That was really nice of him, and he could tell I was just like super stressed. So that weekend was really nice. We went out to dinner, just like enjoyed each other's company, which was so fun. And on my way back to clinicals again, and labs and school. So that's January. I ended up taking my mom out to dinner. It's so blurry, but I ended up taking my mom out to dinner. One thing that I just like appreciate a lot is the relationship that I have with my mom now. The older I get, the more I start to look at her not only as my mom, but also like as a woman. Like she's also navigating this thing called life too. So it's just nice being able to like connect with my mom the way that we connect. I love you, Mom. February was interesting. I watched the Super Bowl. Okay, come on. I watched the Super Bowl with my residents. This is kind of when I started to get super obsessed with like curly wigs, y'all. I was like, this is beautiful. Like I was obsessed with the curly wigs, and then I ended up cutting bangs because I'm telling y'all, bangs are just a thing. So bangs and bangs and bangs. Working out a lot, and then March 4th I had an exam, and then I had a flight literally like four and a half hours after. So I rushed out of there. So I had a flight to go see my sister, but before I left, Canada wanted to meet up for like lunch, but I couldn't because I had gotten there late. I live about 3 hours, 3.5 hours away from Canada. The guy, not the actual, you know, Canada. The guy. So I live about 3.5 hours away. So I drove there and I got there super late. So we ended up meeting for dinner instead. And then this is me right before I flew to go see my sister in Oklahoma. And then on March 7th, my beautiful, beautiful, beautiful niece, y'all, I'm an auntie. My beautiful niece was born. I was so happy. It's me on like auntie duties, y'all. So it's just beautiful. So I went to this park. I forgot what it was called, but it was super pretty. Honestly, okay, let me be honest. I felt like I was a little underwhelmed because in the pictures it looked a lot better, but it was just nice to be there. I stayed with my sister for about 5 days, which was a good time. And then this is me back. I almost missed my flight, y'all, because I booked a last minute flight. I was gonna extend my trip, but I booked a last minute flight because I had to leave and go take care of something. So it was like a last minute thing and I almost missed my flight. This is me at the gym. Gym. February was not all that. I ain't gonna lie to y'all. March pulls up and this right here is the final product, you guys. When I'm telling you, I was obsessed with bangs, so I ended up cutting my hair into bangs. And I really liked it. I sent it to one of my friends and then he's like, you look like Edna from the, oh geez, Invincible? Yeah, Invincible. And I was like, you're not wrong. I was very proud, very proud, because I think Edna's a boss. The thing interesting, okay, happened except for like on this day. Long story short, because I really don't want to give this situation too much energy, really. Anyway, so when I first moved to where I live now, the city where I live now, I really didn't have like a lot of friends. It was just me and my ex. And then when I called off the engagement and stuff, I wanted to like find myself, so I took some time away. I just went to work and went back home. My family hadn't moved here yet, so it was literally just me and my dog. I want to say like 3.5 months after the breakup, I met a group of girls at the time. I mean, anyway, besides the point. I met a group of girls and we had connected. They were like the first friends that I had here, and I ended up moving in with one of them. Long story short, this individual just always had so much like bitterness, and this is, mind you, my side of the story. Just so much bitterness in their heart towards me. We never got along. We used to get along prior to moving in together, and I remember like the day before we signed our lease, I texted them. I was like, hey, I really don't feel like it's best that we move in together, because you always hear about like, don't move in with your best friend, etc., if you want your relationship and your friendship to last. So I was like, a huge part of me, and looking back now, that was the Holy Spirit, y'all. Anyway, I was like, don't move in with this person. But they were like, this is like last minute, you know, like I really need a place to stay, and blah blah blah. I'm not gonna go too deep into what was going on in their personal life. Long story short, fast forward, I want to say 3 months. We did not stay together for too long. 3 months in, we would always argue about the stupidest things. Always. I ended up calling the police on them because they got physical with me while their friend at the time was also present. So and then that was when me and them just like separated and went our separate ways. And then this happened, I want to say like 2021. So 2024, that summer, because this picture, 2023, that summer, like end of 2023, I want to say like August-ish, me, my best friend at the time, and her friend ended up meeting and just like decided to forgive each other and move on, you know. So I want to say like, so this happened in like August. I could be wrong, my dates are a bit off, but so April of last year, she reaches out to me. She's like, hey, do you want to go to like hot yoga together? One thing about me is I am very conscious and cautious of who I let into my circle. I have 3 main friends, and they have been literally a constant since middle school and high school. When I moved here, I made like 2 more really close friends. Anyway, so I always keep my circle small. This girl, after in August when we spoke and like forgave each other, etc., when she reaches out to me again, she's like, hey, let's go for hot yoga or something. I'm like, okay. When you forgive, you're not supposed to hold on to the past still. So I was like, you know what, why not? I remember telling myself, like, girl, don't do it. Bro. Anyway, long story short, I ended up going to yoga with her. After yoga, she drove me back because I had been dropped off by my other friend there. She drove me back home, and we literally spoke from, because we were done at 8:48, 9ish. We spoke from then all the way till 1 a.m. the next day. Mind you, I had an exam the next day because this was a Sunday. But we just like spoke and spoke and spoke, and she opened up to me a little bit about how she felt at the time when we like lived together, and she basically felt like I was a sister that she needed at the time, and I really didn't step up to that role. And I just told her, I was like, I was going through so much. I had just called off an engagement. I was trying to figure out who Esther is. I had moved to the new city. I didn't know anyone, so I was just navigating things, and everything just went by so fast. And like I took accountability for my part in our friendship basically dispersing. So that happened, and then out of that conversation, we really just like opened up to each other. Out of that conversation, this individual went and like twisted my words and ended up telling my best friend at the time complete lies, and I swear on my own life, to this day, they were complete lies. So she ended up doing that, and that's kind of how me and my best friend, that was like the last straw, because not to go too deep into that, but I'm a strong believer in giving certain people the benefit of doubt. Certain, like my best friend at the time, if I had been told that she was saying something about me, I would go to her and be like, hey girl, like I heard this and this and that, let's talk to it, etc. And just like give her the benefit of doubt. But I didn't get that same privilege. I didn't get that same chance. And she actually took the whole weekend, and I was like, I peeped that something was off. I was like, hey, everything okay? But there was just so much that was happening. So that's why the month of April was significant to me, because I ended up blocking her. She was on some, God forgive me, but she was on some BS about like, I'm holding you back, etc., etc. Not to bash her, like I wish everyone health and blessings, etc. But a big part of me was just like, no. I just thought that we were strong enough, and I had been praying that God took people out of my life and also took me out of people's lives as well, because sometimes I am the problem, and growth is understanding that, because we're always talking about how, oh yeah, they're the problem, etc., etc., etc. God take these people out of my life, blah blah blah. Not realizing that sometimes we are the problem, and God is trying to save them from us. So in this case, I was like, God, I'm separating myself from this friendship. Maybe it has run its course, and I'm okay with that. So after that, I just like didn't. So from this, from literally then up until now, it's gonna be a year in April. Then haven't spoken to someone who I thought would be in my life forever. So excuse my voice, y'all. I am recovering from like a cold, y'all. I had a cold for like 2 weeks. So I'm just not getting my voice back. So anyway, April happened, and then May happened. And May is my birthday month. I was born on May 1st. So May is just like a happy month for me. I love May. Not only because it's my birthday, but May just brings so much goodness. You know, Mayflowers. Anyway, I had a birthday trip planned to Florida right before my surgery, because so May 1st I was leaving on the 30th up until the 6th, and then I had surgery the 6th at 2 p.m. Chaos. Anyway, I was living my best life in Florida. I was really just having fun because I was there with Ivy, and for those of y'all who know me, like, you know how much I absolutely love Ivy. Like, she has been one of my rocks, y'all, for the longest time. So I went there. It was just nice being with her and being in Florida. It was super humid, so I just like enjoyed, okay, I'm weird, I really enjoyed how my skin was just glowing the whole time. Glowing. I would just do maybe a lip gloss and maybe some lashes and brows, and that's literally all I did, and my skin was just like glowing. So for my birthday, she ended up taking me out to get sushi because that's my favorite food. We got that, and then the next day, no, actually 4 days after, because on May 4th we ended up going to Miami because she hadn't been and I hadn't been. So I was like, let's go to Miami. So the plan was to go there for the day, not even like book a hotel or anything, because we're gonna do an in and out. That's not how it happened. So we ended up going to a Jamaican restaurant, pretty popular, me and her, and we're meeting one of my friends there as well. He's an amazing artist. He's from Trinidad. You know who you are. Like, I've known him for, I want to say like a little over a year, and we had never met in person. So I was like, hey, I'm in your city, like, let's meet. So he came, took us out to the Jamaican spot. So that was really, really nice. We did that. So I was like sitting and chilling. A group of like men, African men, and I knew they were African by how they dressed, you know? They tonton and how they dress. Versace top, Versace pants, Versace shoes. Y'all was like, yeah, these are people right there. They pull up and they sat right next to us, like the table next to us, and one of them just kept staring at me. I was like, bro, what's going on? So I don't know what had gotten into me in Miami, but I was super brave. And I'm usually pretty like brave and like outspoken, but I was a whole different type of brave then. So he's like, he like calls me. Typically I don't move or leave my chair or my table like if someone just like calls me, but it was outside, we're all vibing, whatever. I was like, hey, so I pull up on them, and then he's like, where are you from? You know, we just like had small banter. It was really nice. And then they invited us to basically join them. So I was like, hey, I'm here for my birthday. I'm leaving literally tonight, and I want to have a good time. And he's like, and a good time you will have. So they invited us to go to a rooftop pool function that they were going to. So I was like, okay, yeah, we'll meet you there. So we ended up going and changing because I had on this outfit prior, which was like a cute little, it was cute, crop top, long pants. It was hot, okay, hot. So we ended up changing into this. We kind of like coordinated a little bit. So we changed into that and went to the rooftop, which was like a fun time. So yeah, we did that, hung out with them for a little bit. It was a good time. Tell me why my date, quote unquote date, starts like vibing with this really gorgeous girl. And I'm just like, I'm vibing, I'm chilling. So I was like, okay, you go do your thing. So they start dancing together. I'm like, I'm chilling. So I start walking, you know, I start walking to go get, honestly, just get some air because it was so packed there, and there was a fan right at the entrance. So as I'm walking, not to brag or anything, but I just kept getting stopped every second. So as I'm walking, I just keep getting stopped and stuff, and I got taps on the shoulder. I don't know why I turned, but I turned, and y'all, one of the most beautiful men that I've ever seen, that I've ever laid my eyes on. Y'all see that Aaron Pierre Mufasa? Now just imagine him. Okay, this is our foundation, Aaron Pierre, okay? From the Mufasa movie. I'll insert his picture right here. Him. So imagine him, but maybe like 2-3 shades lighter, okay? Not 3 shades, that would make him white. This man was basically white. He was like, yeah, anyway, mixed but light. He was light bright. Gorgeous, static blue eyes. He had his hair braided, and he was wearing like a cute little set, like a pool set, you know? And I turned around and I was like, obviously, like I wear, yeah, I wear my expressions on my face. Like I wear my thoughts on my face. Like if you want to know what Esther's thinking, just look at my face. So I turn around and he asked me, he's like, hey, I've never seen you here before. Are you from here? I'm like, did I wear a sign that says I'm not from Miami? Anyway, I took that as a compliment. So I'm like, no, I'm not from here. I just came for my birthday. I'm here with my girl. Actually, she's sitting over there. And then we just like talked a little bit. And next thing you know, he's like, hey, like I would love to take you out. I don't know what made me ask him this question, because I usually don't ask people that I've just like met what they do for a living. But I asked him, I was like, what do you do for a living? Y'all, comment down below what you think he does for a living. It rhymes with the word corn. Oh God. It's like, yeah, so I do adult entertainment, and like I would love to film with you sometime. I'm like, you bold. Like you're so bold. You can't, like, huh? Like I'm not used to that. I'm not used to that type of boldness, but he was bold. Oh, y'all, this was a interesting, very interesting time. So ended up after talking to him, I was like, sorry, I'm not really interested. But he was beautiful. If you ever see this and you remember me, hi. Hope you're well. As I'm going back, I finally see where the bathroom is, like the second bathrooms, because there are the bathrooms inside. Excuse me. And then there were bathrooms on the corner. You had to go around the corner, and there were bathrooms there. And I didn't know that. So when I found it, I was like, oh, thank God. So I'm walking there. And as I'm heading towards the bathroom, I see this. Is Miami just full of like my type? So I see this individual. Let's call him Blue. Yeah, because he had on like a blue set. So I see him, and then he like looks at me, smiles. I smile. I walk into the bathroom and I go on with my day. As I come back out, guess who's there? Him. He's kind of like leaning over the fence like this, and then as like I'm passing him, he's like, hey, like, can I talk to you? He said something like that. I'm like, oh God, sure. In my mind, I'm like, maybe they're friends, and maybe he does that too. I'm like, sure. So I stop and we start talking. I learned a bit about him. He is oof, do I remember this? But he has two sisters, I think. He's a personal trainer. He also does like, I think he day trades or something like that. But I remember that he was a personal trainer. So we talked for literally quite a while, because I remember Ivy ended up coming there and checking up on me. She's like, hey, are you okay? I'm like, yeah, I'm good. So I introduced them and they talked for a little bit, and he ended up having a friend, because they always have a friend. But his friend wasn't, you know, and my girl is married, so, you know, there's no setting up anyone there. But like the friend was trying to like talk to her so she's not like alone. But he knew, and I'm gonna repeat this again, he knew that she was married. He did not cross any like lines or anything. So like the four of us were just like talking, and they're like, hey, like if you guys want to hang out later today, we could either, for your birthday, we could go to the club. I think it's called like Live. Go there because they have a section, or we could do whatever, we could have dinner or something. I'm like, you know what, for my birthday I just want to go to the beach. I want to be by the water, like can we do that? He's like, yeah, absolutely. Like yeah, what beach do you want to go to? I was like, I don't care really, any beach. So we ended up meeting up later on that night, and that's him right there, y'all, in the blue. So we ended up meeting up and going to, oh, you can kind of see. I'm gonna show y'all because I bet some people are nosy as hell, but you can kind of see him. So we ended up walking to the beach, and you can hear that. That's like all I wanted to do, because we got invited to a few different clubs that night, and I was just like, I don't really care for that. I just want to go to the beach and be by, you know, like the water and stuff. So we did that, ended up talking, and then at that time, what time was this? Y'all, it was midnight. And guess who hadn't booked a room? Us. If you know, you know, Miami's for the girls. Like, Miami's for the girls. So they ended up booking us a room. Y'all, the whole night was ghetto, but I'm not even gonna talk about what happened that night. Maybe it's story time for another day. But anyway, so the next day, Tonton, y'all forgot about him, huh? Anyway, so Tonton was like, hey, what are you doing? He was like, well, we plan on leaving, going back to, because my friend lives about 2 hours away from Miami. We are planning on going back there. And they're like, no, like, come, let me take you out to brunch before you guys go. Because we also have a flight, because they had a flight that same day to go back to Atlanta. I'm like, sure. So we went to this like Greek place. It was super, super, super nice. The food was trash, but the vibe was like, the whole place was beautiful. But like I said, the food was trash. So we went there. I forgot what it's called, but it was nice. And then ended up dropping the rental back and flew back home. Actually, before I went back home, I stopped at Canada's. Had surgery, and then from basically May 6th all the way till like God knows when, I was just recovering. I was in bed. Let's just say that surgery had to happen so I don't lose my life. So that happened. It was nice. This was my first like Sunday post not post surgery, because this was when? This was the 12th. That was a week after. Y'all, okay, so my doctor, my provider said no lifting, no bending, just like light food. Mostly I was on a fluid diet, and be in bed the majority of the day. And my stubborn self said, no, I'm gonna travel. So I did. I ended up going, I ended up traveling that literally the following weekend, which was not good. And then I basically broke the rule and I went to the gym. So I was internally bleeding at the time. So yay me. I wanted to sign up for the National Guard for some reason. So I went there, spoke to them. Got a camera. Well, I was gonna get a camera. So I went to look at cameras. This is all May. And then the infamous show where a lot of y'all met me happened. Okay, so back it up a bit to April is when they had reached out. Like we were in communication and they wanted me to be on the show in April. And I was like, I just have too much going on. But maybe we can push it down to like June or something, because I had something else that I was doing in Phoenix during that time. So I was like, let's just kill 3 birds with 1 stone, go to the show, take care of what I had to take care of, and then go see my middle school long-time friend. And all 3 things, I was like, I can just do all of them at the same time, which was nice. So this was like me doing my hair for the show. I wish, y'all, that I had kept the side part. Like, I love middle parts, but like something about side parts just make me feel like, you know, grown. So this is me, flew in. I was super late. We were supposed to start at, I think, like 3:35 or something, and I was just like late. He kept, like, the producer kept texting like, hey, how far are you? Like, we need to get started. And I was like, I'm sorry, like, cause I flew Frontier one time and never again after that. Because why did they keep delaying us over and over and over again? Y'all, even with the time difference, I was still late. So when I got there, I didn't even get a chance to like touch up my makeup or do my hair. I just kind of like pulled up, showed up. And then this is me, us behind the scenes. It was an June 28th, I hit 10K. 10K of y'all. I just want to take time to thank y'all. Really, thank you guys for following my Instagram, and which is right here. third NDA for that weekend. That was interesting. Ended up going out, had a nice dinner, came back home. At least my literal twin. That's how we ended December. It was nice. And January has been an interesting month so far. Very peaceful, because I after like a lot of thoughts and like reflecting on 2024, I could see where I went wrong in a lot of situations, and I could see where other parties wronged me. So yeah, some of the biggest lessons that I learned last year were not only to give yourself grace, but also call yourself out. With giving yourself grace, there should also be discipline. A lot of the mistakes that I made last year, I could have avoided. A lot of the connections, whether meaningful or meaningless, that I made last year, I should have used a bit more discernment when it came to some of them. And some of the places that I went, I should have stayed my butt home, really. But overall, 2024 was a year of lessons, a year of loss, a year of mourning, but a year of transformation for myself, as I am becoming more and more who God wants me to be. I'm super, super proud of the woman that I'm becoming. And like, old Esther would be like, girl, we made it. From someone who had suffered from, you know, thoughts of ending it all. This is just an unfiltered moment, but I never thought that I would make it. And to be honest, I also didn't think that I wanted to make it. But the closer I draw nearer to God, the closer He draws nearer to me. And I'm not saying that I'm going to be perfect in 2025, because no one can promise that, really. But what I'm saying is I will call myself out a bit more. I will use discernment a bit more, and I will love unconditionally, because doing the work that I do, you encounter a lot of death. I know this is so dark and sad, but it's honest, you guys. You encounter a lot of that, and you are reminded of what and who matters. And that's family, that's love, that is inner peace. So yeah, I just pray that 2025 is good to you, and it's good to me as well. And I'm looking forward to what is in store for us. So let me know what you guys want to see a bit more from me in 2025. Comment down below some of your goals for this year. And don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And you guys stay unfiltered. Bye.